I'm going to spoil it for you because I know you want, obviously the first segment of the show has got to be on the game of the weekend. And that was the highest rated NFL game outside of the Super Bowl in the last 12 years. I don't know if that includes playoff games. Rob G, check that out.
Probably regular season.
Yeah, probably.
I can't believe that's bigger than a playoff
I would
game.
think some of the playoff.
Yeah, regular season.
Regular season, okay.
Yeah.
The highest rated regular season game in the last 12 years. Patriots, Cowboys. Patriots come out on top 13-9.
And it was a dud of all things, right?
It wasn't great. It wasn't there. I mean, obviously there wasn't much offense,
Right.
And the weather was bad. It was offensive, but not offensive.
Right.
You know what I mean? But look, I know you want to jump on me, Dak. You said Dak was elite, and let me break down the truth before Rob Parker gets to change everything and finagle and kick the fake news and all that. What I said last Friday is for everybody to hear on tape. Dak Prescott is en route to being an elite quarterback. I never have said, in fact, I have not said he's Aaron Rodgers.
So what do you do?
He's not Pat Mahomes. He's not, one of those guys, but I think he's a top 10 quarterback now. And all the stats bear that out. Also, the game actually ended. Now, would I have picked a 13-9 game? Maybe, probably not. But I did pick the Patriots. I picked the Cowboys to cover. I didn't think they'd get beat by more than 6.5 points. So I thought they would lose. And that's what happened. They lost by 4. I didn't expect Dak to go into Foxborough and light it up and throw for 400 yards. It was what I expected. And I actually, being a guy that does think Dak has something as a quarterback, that does think Dak is a franchise quarterback, does think Dak can lead a team to the Super Bowl. He can be your Super Bowl quarterback. I actually came away with reasons to be encouraged. I'll save those for after my man Rob Parker. I'm going to give you the floor because I know you've been waiting ever since last night, probably about 24 hours.
I've been in the parking lot for the last 14 hours.
So I'm going to let you go ahead and let's see what you got.
It's not about what I got. It's that he obviously took a detour and made a left at Albuquerque because the road that you're talking about, that he's on his road to elite, this is just the only problem I have, Chris, is when they play good teams, for whatever reason, I don't know, you can give me the reason, the numbers just don't bear it out that he's that guy. Tom Brady wasn't that great. He was awful. But here's the numbers against the teams. They've lost 5 games, and in the games that they lost, 4 of them against playoff teams, and the real bad loss to the Jets. Patriots, no touchdowns, 1 interception. The Vikings, who they lost to, he had a good game. 3 touchdowns, 1 pick. He had good numbers.
How many yards?
397. All right. Then we had the Jets game, which I said was awful. He had no touchdowns, no interceptions.
Why would we even include that?
That was one of the losses, but I'm talking about the good teams. Packers, 2 touchdowns, 3 interceptions. Saints, 0 touchdowns, 1 interception. And this is just my point on Dak Prescott. Nobody's saying that he can't play or there's no place in the league for a guy like that. It's just that I do not believe he's in that elite category. And this is the reason, and these are games like here, Chris, that we keep seeing in the big spots. They're 6-5. And when you look at the teams that he beat and put up the numbers against, it's embarrassing. They're all bad teams.
Well, what about Minnesota?
Except the Minnesota game. I'll give you that. I said that's the only game where the numbers are good. But all the games I'm talking about that they won are all against the Lions and the Giants twice and the Eagles and the Dolphins and the Redskins. And you just keep looking, waiting for him. Yesterday was a classic time, a classic moment with this much-watched game, right? This highly contested game. Dak Prescott, it could have been the passing of the torch where he's taking it from Tom Brady. He beats Tom Brady on his own field with America watching. The Dallas Cowboys, everybody's excited. Here's that big game, and instead they don't even get a touchdown. They don't even get a touchdown. We saw this against the Saints in another marquee matchup, and that was even without Drew Brees. But I just thought this was an opportunity for Dak Prescott to maybe change some people's minds. The reason that there's so many question marks about him is because of what we saw yesterday. This is the reason I believe he still hasn't been signed. The Cowboys signed everybody. Defensive players, they gave everybody contracts. And whether or not Dak turned down 32 or whatever it was, if they really believed this guy was that guy, they would have said, back up the Brinks truck, because Jared Goff got paid. All these guys got paid. Dak Prescott should be under contract, and it's nights like this. You could talk about Jason Garrett. You could talk about special teams. You could talk about all kinds of other things. He just doesn't make you feel like he is that guy, that elite guy who, when everything's not good, he can win a game against a good team. And last night, to me, was Exhibit A. I'm not going to go crazy on him. I'm not going to call him a fraud, even though I've said it for over and over that I think he's fraudulent when it comes to that. But last night was just a perfect example of just another situation where anti-Dak people could look and go, there it is, another game when he had a chance to prove people wrong and he didn't do it.
I think the anti-Dak people would be being disingenuous to say that, because to expect him to, one, go into Foxborough where the Patriots hardly ever lose, to go up against the number one defense in the league in that weather. Troy Aikman was on the call, said he hated playing in that weather. And you look at Aikman, some of his games and that type of stuff, and he didn't like throwing the ball in that.
But somebody has to win. Somebody has to win the game.
Let me talk. I gave you 5 minutes.
No, it wasn't. It was 4 minutes and 38 seconds. Right. I timed it.
And you didn't make the most of it, I'll say myself. If I do say so myself.
All I had to do was open my mouth. That's all I had to do.
Reflective Rob Parker, I don't know. But anyway, but no, to expect, heck, he actually outplayed Brady. Brady is used to those elements. Brady is in his home territory, and Dak outplayed him, or at least played him to a standstill at the very least. Like, he threw for more yards. He had a better completion percentage.
Stop. It's not about yards. It's not about yards. Stop saying yards. No.
Can I finish?
It's not about yards.
I gave you 4.5 minutes where I didn't say a word. You had your chance. You chose to be reflective. You chose to stay calm.
Stop with the yards.
Then stay there. Stay there.
His quarterback rating was 64. He had no touchdowns again.
You act like having a touchdown automatically means you had a great game. Okay, he had 460 yards and 2 touchdowns against Green Bay. Was that a good game? No. So my point is that in that type of weather, you can't expect him to go up there and light it up. In fact, the whole game plan was screwed up. They should have been running Ezekiel Elliott left, Ezekiel Elliott right. He was getting more than 4 yards a carry. And then the special team screwed him up. You know this. And then there were some drops. And then there was a phantom tripping call where the guy didn't even get tripped.
It's called football drops. It happens all the time.
Look, the bottom line is with the money on the line, he put it where Amari Cooper should have caught it. And then maybe that you extend the drive, who knows? All I'm saying is, again, I said he's en route to being elite, and what I saw yesterday doesn't change my mind.
He's 0-4 against playoff teams. Explain that.
Hold on, you want to talk about it? I'm going to explain it. I'm looking at the big picture.
Got an excuse for every time they lose to a good team.
No, it's not an excuse. It's actually called facts. The guy is 38-21 as a starter.
We're talking about right now this year.
Yeah, we're talking about right now.
That's what we're talking about.
No, hold on. I see, if you want to look at this year and the losses he has and say he's not legit, he's fraudulent, that's your prerogative. But you talk about he doesn't beat winning teams. He was 13-3 as a rookie. I'm sure there were some winning teams in those 13 victories. He was 10-6 last year. They beat the Eagles twice, who were a winning team.
0-4 this year, and the only team that they've beaten.
I'm not going to put it
all on him.
The only
teams that they've beaten are bad teams. I'm just trying to say.
It's the NFL. Are they en route to make the playoffs?
At some
That's
point.
All that matters.
No, it doesn't matter, Chris.
It does
matter. It doesn't. No,
They'll
it doesn't.
get their chance to beat good teams when they get to the postseason.
You can't keep making excuses for
I'm
a guy.
not making excuses.
Just acknowledge that when they've played the better teams in the league,
that he's not an elite quarterback.
He's not
I never
elite.
said he was.
He's not elite.
And I never said he is.
And he's not on
en route.
And he's not on route.
And you keep throwing out this garbage
and he's
about
not on route.
That's
Stop
why
it.
he's not paid. Please, you know he's gonna get paid. You know it. I challenged you on it last Friday, and you couldn't say it. You know he's gonna get paid. He wants $40 million. I wouldn't give him $40 million as much as I like him, unless I absolutely have to.
Why not? You said he's elite. He's on his way. Don't you have your quarterback?
Are you listening
the hardest
to me?
position
Are you listening
to field
to me?
Is a quarterback.
How many times, Rob Parker, do I have to say he's en route to becoming
what does that mean?
Elite?
What does that mean?
He's not elite.
When?
It means he's getting
when does he
better,
get there?
and he's improving to the point where he will become an elite quarterback.
Dallas is 0-4 against playoff teams. You are what your record says you are.
Okay.
That's what they are.
They are going to be the division winners in their division and make the playoffs and have home field advantage.
By default. By default, they haven't beaten anybody. It's by default.
It is what it is, Mr. Parker.
It's by default.
Whatever you want to call it,
just
get there. Heck, teams that have gotten in by default have won Super Bowl.
Who? Tell me.
Eli
what team?
Manning and the
Giants. Ain't by no default. Are you kidding me?
Wild cards.
That's not by default, a wild card.
It's sneaking in.
No, it ain't.
It's
sneaking in is making the playoffs without beating one team over 500.
I'd rather win a weak division than be a wild card.
The Patriots cheat, and now all we know is here is Chris Broussard making excuses again for Dak Prescott.
Your argument was weak. You had a whole day to come up with that, and that's the best you could do. 0-4, he's 38-21.
My argument,
as a starter.
no. My argument's not weak. Your argument is outdated.
And then you're
reading
this
old
mess.
stats.
You're reading
this
mess about that's why he's not paid.
That is why he's not paid. No, I don't know that.
No, he's not paid because he's asking for more.
And they're 0-4. That's all I need to know. And all Cowboy fans, everybody knows it. They watched Dak Prescott lay another egg on national television with everybody watching. No touchdowns against the Patriots. Did we see Lamar Jackson go crazy on that same defense? Chris now said, "What do you expect? It's raining out. And what did you want Dak to do? It's bad weather. He outplayed Tom Brady. Did he? No, he didn't. Tom Brady threw a touchdown.
Enough. Let's see what you guys think. Is Dak not en route to be an elite, as I say? Is he a fraud, as Rob says? Your turn to weigh in, 877-99 on Fox.
All right, let's start with Aaron in Illinois. You're on the Odd Couple Fox Sports Radio. What's up, Aaron?
Hey, Rob and Chris. Thanks for having me on.
Yes, sir.
Listen to you guys every night. Hey, Rob.
Thank you.
Appreciate it.
You just hate on Dak every day, and I don't understand it. This guy is not the problem. You got to look at the coaching staff. Look at the offensive coordinator. He's been there as a backup and is now calling the plays.
So Aaron, let me just stop you, and I'll let you continue, Aaron. So first, terrible stuff, because he put up big numbers against the Dolphins and the Giants and all those teams to start the season. And when he did that, everybody was ranting and raving about the offensive coordinator. Now you're telling me it's the offensive coordinator. What's changed?
I'm just saying it's the coaching staff as a whole. Jason Garrett's been there now 10 years, and Jerry Jones is just sitting him in a chair next to him, just patting him on the head, telling him it's okay. They got to get rid of Jason Garrett.
Well, it sounded like yesterday that this is going to be his last year.
It's funny. If they're going to win it, they're going to fire him because he won a Division III of the last 4 years. Thanks for the call. Bruce in Jacksonville, you're on the Odd Couple Fox Sports Radio. What you got, Bruce?
Hey, what's going on, fellas? Long-time listener, big fan to both of y'all.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Chris, I rock with you, except when you're talking about LeBron. Rob, I rock with you, except when you're talking about Brady. But with that said, tonight, Rob, you're 100% right. Dak Prescott is not that dude. He wants to reset the quarterback market. People think he is or will become elite, Elite quarterbacks do not need everything to be perfect around them like Dak does. They can get you over the hump, and he's just not that guy. And Chris, don't let Rob off the hook because Aaron Rodgers was terrible yesterday.
Oh, we're going to get to that. Thank you. We're going to get to that.
We can talk about that. Aaron Rodgers has 2 MVPs, so you want to talk. Don't put him in the same conversation.
We were talking about this season,
Don't put him on the same conversation.
Talking about this season.
Yeah, he's 8-3.
When I talked
he's
about
8-3
Dak,
and beating good teams.
Oh, yeah, okay.
He's 8-3. Hello,
wow.
he's 8-3.
I could have gone for that.
Is he 8-3? All right, then. Be quiet.
Let's keep with the call.
Keith,
that's an appetizer.
Keith in Peoria, you're on The Odd Couple, Fox Sports Radio.
Rob. I'm sick and tired. I've been waiting on this since yesterday. Let me say something to you. I cannot understand how people try to blame all this on Dak. We got a stupid coach that's redhead looking like Charlie Brown on the sideline.
You don't have to call him names.
Don't know how to coach a team. Don't know how to play the team right. Here we are losing the game. You get the ball on 4th down. You don't want to go for it. You kick it. I'm not mad at that. You get the ball back. Instead of you coaching the team, special teams get it. You got special teams back on the goal line. The ball not even making it to the 20.
Keith, hold on, Keith. How did they win the 6 games and the blowouts?
You know how
they win those games? How'd they win those?
From talent,
I'm asking you.
Alone. I'm telling you, pure talent alone. It's not because of the coach. The coach has not been a coach for 10 years. Get you somebody back there that knows what he's doing.
They won the Division 2 in the last 3 years. That's a problem. You want him fired? He's going to win the division again. I'm asking.
By default, right?
Well, which one is it? I'm saying if he wins the division,
you can win despite the coach.
Okay, and you can win despite the quarterback, and that's what they have to do because they can't win with the quarterback when it's a big game or when it's a really good team. That's the big problem. Sean in Sacramento, you're on The Odd Couple, Fox Sports Radio. What's up, Sean?
What a game for you, Big Rob. Tom Brady out there looking like 113 years old. Dak out there looking like a big old dump truck just dumping all over the place, man. You must have been sitting there rubbing your hands like Birdman, baby.
You already know. I needed a cigarette, and you know I did.
So I just got to say that you're preaching right now. Chris, I was with you last week on Dak, man. I had high hopes for that man, but he hasn't proven anything against winning teams this entire season.
You thought Dak was going to go into Foxborough. You thought Dak was going to go into Foxborough and light it up in that weather. Sean, you know better than that.
The Patriots haven't played anybody this year. This was the number one offense in the NFL with Dallas.
They haven't played anybody again. They're frauds.
Enough of that. It's the NFL. Some of these teams that are garbage this year will be in the playoffs next year. That's how it works.
Oh, really?
Yeah,
Dolphins going to be in the playoffs next year?
The Rams are horrible now.
What do you mean? The Rams are going to be in the playoffs. The Rams are a playoff team.
Ravens were no good in the playoffs. Now they look like the best team in the league.
They were a playoff team last year.
The Niners were 4-12. Now they look like the best team in the league.
They lost their quarterback last year.
Stop. They haven't played anybody.
They haven't played anybody.
It's
the Patriots.
NFL.
They're bad teams all throughout the league.
No fools allowed.
All throughout the league.
All right, we're going to sick
don't
Bucky.
even work.
That's why I'm going to sick Bucky Brooks on
you. You can sick Bucky on me all you want.
I'm going to sick him on. I'm going to sit back and watch him chew you up. He is next,
You need all the help you can get because God knows you ain't doing it.
Please.
All you do is you keep relying on the old of what he did with his rookie year.
Weren't you the one
this
that went
year,
Aaron Rodgers? He got 2
stinks.
MVPs.
He stinks.
He led the league in passer rating once. That's all you got with Aaron Rodgers. He's from the NFL Network, also a Fox Sports Radio weekend host, played in the league and also scouted in the league in the front office. It's our man. I've been waiting for him, Bucky Brooks. Bucky, what's happening, man?
What's up, Chris? What's up, Rob? Hey, look, you know what? I want to take this time to apologize to Rob Parker because I was wrong. And whenever I'm wrong, I like to stand on the table and admit that I was wrong. A couple months ago, I came on your show, and I said that Aaron Rodgers was like Russell Westbrook. And I want to take the time to admit that comparison is absolutely wrong. He's more like Austin Rivers. And so what I need to do is I need to just make sure that I stand up on the table and let Rob know that I'm wrong. I compared him to an MVP candidate and Russell Westbrook, and really, the guy that we saw last night is more like Austin Rivers. And I should have known better when I stood up there and said that.
That's fire right there. Shots fired, Rob Parker. 104 yards, Bucky. 104 yards?
I mean, that's what I'm saying. Like, that's the kind of production that you normally receive from somebody who's like a sixth or a seventh man, not someone who's supposed to be the greatest thrower of the football on the planet. I think that's what Rob said. The greatest thrower of the football on the planet. And what I saw last night. I mean, come on. 104 yards in a full game?
Wow.
I mean, that's what we're saying? I'm just really disappointed. I know what Robin said. Hey, they didn't have their wide receivers, and the offensive line was beat up, and the running back couldn't get going. At some point, if you're the greatest thrower of the football ever, you should be able to elevate the squad.
Thank you. Rob, go ahead. Rob Parker. He got nothing to say, I know. Go ahead, Rob. Man up, man. Come on. Man up. You really not going to say anything?
Nah, he ain't got nothing to say.
I guess he got nothing to say.
He ain't got nothing to say. You know what I'm going to do? I'm going to pause for a minute because I'm going to dig in. I was finishing up my lemon pepper wings. I'm going to dig into these wings for a minute, and then I'm going to come back and give him some more because he shouldn't have anything to say.
Take a bite, Bucky, and this is what I want to ask you. A real serious question here, too. Rob is not alone in saying that he's the best passer of the football he's ever seen. I've said, this guy's phenomenal. He's just got to get some wins, and he's arguably that best passer of the football and all that. And everybody's raved for years about Aaron Rodgers. You have been kind of solo. There's a few others, but in saying that he's not a winner, he's not as good as everybody thinks. What is it that you haven't liked or just saw in him that made you feel that way?
No, look, he's a great player. He's one of the best quarterbacks that we've ever seen. However, he is also nearing the end of a great career. He still has a few years left. But the biggest argument that you'll make with Aaron Rodgers is, and we've heard for years that Aaron Rodgers is his great quarterback, and everybody's held him back. That Mike McCarthy held him back. That Green Bay's inability to surround him with a supporting cast held him back. But when we really look around the league and we look at those quarterbacks that we talk about, the legendary ones, the ones that we're going to talk about for years and years and years on end, they've been able to do it with less. Tom Brady hasn't played with a cast of all-stars around him for the majority of his career. However, the Patriots have still been able to win. When we look at what Drew Brees has been able to do with some of the guys that he has been surrounded by, we still see those guys win. At some point, when we're measuring Aaron Rodgers and we're saying he's going to go down as arguably the best quarterback in football, at some point we have to see something where we see him elevate the squad and take him beyond a level of, hey, we win a division title, we go a couple rounds in the playoffs. Like, if he is that bad man, then at some point, don't we need to see him knock some people out? Don't we need to see him elevate them and say, hey, guys, I got this. Even when my guys aren't rolling, I can elevate us. Last night against the 49ers team that is looking like a heavyweight contender, we didn't see the Green Bay Packers respond. And a lot of that was due to Aaron Rodgers not playing at a high level. At some point, he has to be held accountable to his level of play.
No question about it. Let's go to Dallas. Obviously, big game. Dallas against New England. And Jerry Jones had some strong words about Jason Garrett after the game. It seems like he's going to get fired after this season, unless they go ahead and have some great run in the playoffs. Do you like what Jerry said, or do you think, look, you got, a good chunk of the season left. You can't have, your coaching staff in their feelings or worried about their job or anything like that, or you think it was more of a positive what he said?
Hey, man, you know how it is. Like, when you're in the business that Jason Garrett elected to be in, you're always under scrutiny. You're always under evaluation. And I think the frustration from Jerry Jones stems from the fact that the New England Patriots tell you exactly who you are. They are a team that has always been able to exploit your biggest weakness, and they really diffuse your biggest strength. And what we saw in that game, that was a winnable game for the Dallas Cowboys, because as much as I went hard on Aaron Rodgers, I would go harder on Tom Brady for where he is at this stage of his career. This game was won for the Patriots by their defense and really their special teams. And when you looked at that game, I think the thing that you came away from is the Dallas Cowboys aren't on the details, particularly on special teams. They had a punt block. They had to use timeouts to avoid a penalty because they didn't get a bad read. They had numerous returners fail to field kicks in inclement weather. And what the Patriots do and what they've always done, and one of the reasons why they've been able to win 7 Super Bowl championships is they wait for you to beat yourself. They are so on the details that they know that you're not as detailed as them, and at some point under pressure, you'll crack. Well, what we saw is in the special teams phase, the Dallas Cowboys cracked, and that comes from a lack of preparation. That comes from the game plan, and all of that points back to the coaching staff. That is why Jerry Jones was so hot, because on multiple occasions this season, he has felt like my team on paper is better than the other team, but we're coming up short. That has to be something that is a coaching error, not a player error. That's why we've seen him go so hard at Jason Garrett.
You think the players will respond positively to that?
I mean, I don't know if they respond positively. I think this is a situation. The only thing that Jason Garrett and his staff can control is what they do. They got to make sure that they prepare, that they get on it. But I do believe the Patriots kind of show you a lot about your team. And I think their coaching staff had to go into the meeting room last night and this morning and say, guys, we really let this slip because we really weren't on the P's and Q's. I think, if anything, that loss could really help them because they played the Patriots to an even game. They just didn't do the little things that separate the good teams from the great teams. This could actually propel them to be a better team because I think they will now have a level of focus when it comes to the little things that could help them win some big games down the stretch.
Last thing, Bucky, Cleveland, I'm not going to get excited about them routing the Dolphins, but do you think, knowing their schedule, they really only have one really tough game against the Ravens left, do you think they can actually make a playoff push?
Yeah, everyone pointed to this part of the season for the Browns being able to make a playoff push because they didn't have to play a lot of contenders down the stretch. And so they have the Pittsburgh game, they have the Baltimore game. I think as long as the Cleveland Browns continue to stick to the formula and the recipe that you'll see with your own eyes when you watch the game, when the Cleveland Browns are playing 12 personnel, 1 running back, 2 tight ends, 2 wide receivers, and they're running the football, it is their most effective formation and personnel grouping. Yesterday, they were in their personnel grouping 37% of the time. Baker Mayfield had the second most productive game in NFL history off play action with them using that grouping yesterday. If they continue to use Nick Chubb as kind of the table setter, letting him be the focal point of the offense, and then use Odell Beckham Jr., Jarvis Landry, Baker Mayfield as complements, you could see the Cleveland Browns be the team that many of us thought they would be at the beginning of the year.
All right, Bucky, great stuff. You dropped the mic on Rob.
All right, happy Thanksgiving, Bucky. We'll talk to you next time. Bye-bye.
You dropped the mic on you. You came out so strong, it was just over.
Mike,
it was
I may have to apologize again. I may have to take my apology to Twitter this time. My bad.
All right, Bucky, happy Thanksgiving, man.
Hey, you too. Happy holiday.
Yep.